Hello, I am Mayor of Rio Rancho, Gregory Hull. It is my pleasure to give this State of the City report to the City Council and the citizens of Rio Rancho. 1 year ago, I gave my first State of the City report. At that time, I indicated that a positive tone for things to come had been established. I am pleased to report that the past 12 months, indeed, did have many highlights, and the coming year and beyond look very bright. I am, and all citizens of Rio Rancho should be as well, very optimistic about the future of our community. Let's never forget that we are already a city highly regarded for its public safety, school district, quality of life, and health care options. With these foundations already in place and a recovering economy, it's not hard to see why further development of our community and job creation is on the rise. Simply put, people want to live and work in Rio Rancho. The past year saw the opening of several new businesses that will help diversify and fortify our economy. These include Rio Cabazon, 24/7 skilled healthcare facility, a new Dion's, Walmart neighborhood market, New Mexico Orthopedics Clinic, a 7-Eleven Alon fueling station and convenience store, Hanger Prosthetics Clinic, Clean Machine Car Wash, and several others. In northern Rio Rancho, the Plaza at Enchanted Hills has recently opened, featuring TJ Maxx, Bed Bath & Beyond, Michaels, Kirkland's, Famous Footwear, Maurice's, Rue 21, and more retailers are on tap to come in the next phase. Some highlights of projects currently under construction that will open in the coming year include the Presbyterian Russ Medical Center's $86 million expansion, a new Cinda Credit Union, Taco Cabana, and Rio Rancho's first Chick-fil-A, which I have to admit I plan on frequenting quite often. All of these projects are tremendous for Rio Rancho because they mean jobs and revenue generation to fund public services. Activity like this creates a buzz about the community that helps attract more interest from other businesses looking to expand and open new operations or relocate. Rio Rancho has experienced job growth in the customer contact center industry via S&P Data's relocation to the city, as well as the expansion at Alliance Data, Bank of America, Converges, and Intersections. This industry has played a key role in our community for nearly 2 decades. These expansions are a continued testament to our workforce and business environment. I would be remiss if I did not mention Intel. Intel is not closing next week or next month. For approximately 35 years, Intel has been a key contributor to Rio Rancho, Sandoval County, and the state of New Mexico. There's a commitment by Intel to New Mexico, and in turn, there's a commitment by officials at all levels of government to do what they can to help attract future investments and technology at the local Intel site. Residential development, which creates the demand for retailers, continued at a strong pace over the past year with 479 single-family home permits issued in the calendar year 2014. In Rio Rancho, the first phase of the Salcedo subdivision, located just off Northern Boulevard, is under construction with model homes now open. This is significant as it's the first new subdivision developed in several years. The Mariposa community has been relaunched with new ownership. The neighborhood by La Vidalena, a $50 million senior living project in the Loma, Colorado community, is under construction. At full build-out, it will be home to over 350 residents and employ 180. In establishing priorities, there is a consensus among city leadership that economic development is the top priority, and this makes sense. In order for the city to provide the level of services desired by the citizens and to meet public service needs, the city must increase its revenue stream through tax revenue generation, which means more businesses and spending by residents in Rio Rancho. In order to achieve these objectives, several approaches have been undertaken. This includes supporting a new local economic development recruiting organization, the Sandoval Economic Alliance. Through a renewed effort to raise awareness and provide continued reminders about the importance of buying in Rio Rancho whenever possible, a collaborative effort has been launched by local business owners, which I have supported. One highlight in this year's budget is the creation of a local economic development fund. By using existing resources for this fund, Rio Rancho's ability to recruit new businesses, both small and large, is aided. Another highlight is the funding of an analysis of impact fees, which will be beneficial going forward as the governing body works on the balance between charging developer fees and addressing infrastructure needs. We must remember, and I cannot stress this enough, that many driving factors of the private sector in economic development, such as interest rates and the availability of aggregated land, are not controlled by local government. Because that is the case, this is why the city has placed such an emphasis and will continue to do so on things it can control, which influence new growth and development, such as the existence of a business-friendly environment and the placement and investment in public infrastructure. Under the leadership of City Manager Keith Reesberg, the city has made great strides in reviewing local processes and regulations to ensure an environment exists that does not create barriers to new investment. In addition, customer service has been a focus as well. I know these efforts have been successful based on the comments and feedback I've received from the development and business community. Regarding investment in roadway public infrastructure, there are abundant examples. This past year, in addition to routine crack sealing and general repairs, the city did more extensive preservation work on Riverview Drive and 17th Avenue. As many know, the widening of New Mexico 528 from Southern Boulevard to Ridgecrest Drive was completed this past year by the state. This project was very important to the city because it improved traffic flow. The next phase of the widening of New Mexico 528 by the state will bring additional improvement. Within the next month, improvements to Westside Boulevard, which includes construction of a new bridge for the eastbound lanes and completing the top lift of asphalt from the city limits to Unser Boulevard, will be completed. The coming year will see a number of projects several years in the making begin work. These include the reconstruction of Idalia Road between Iris Road and New Mexico 528 and the extension of Broadmoor Boulevard. The completion of Broadmoor Boulevard from Norwich Road to Paseo de Volcan will connect the heart of Rio Rancho's population to the city center area, the UNM West Campus, and the UNM Sandoval Regional Medical Center, the Central New Mexico Community College campus, as well as open up new area ripe for development. Of great interest to many is the reconstruction of Southern Boulevard, as it serves as the oldest and one of the main business areas for the city. The city is moving closer to starting the first phase of this project, which will consist of the section of roadway between New Mexico 528 and May Circle. This year's budget includes $1.7 million to serve as the city's match in order to access $7 million in federal funds. These federal funds will be accessible in late 2017, early 2018, with work starting shortly thereafter. The city will continue to pursue funding options and explore all avenues in order to fund the remaining reconstruction phases of Southern Boulevard. While I have just mentioned a number of road projects, I want to be clear that Rio Rancho has many other road-related needs with very high costs. Furthermore, roads continue to be an area residents provide a lot of input on. As such, looking at all the options to generate additional and recurring funding, including voter-supported initiatives, must be explored. In that regard, the citizen survey the city has conducted this fall will have questions about funding road projects to gauge community support. Work on water-related public infrastructure is another area where the city has been busy. Since 2014 and by winter 2016, approximately 2,500 leaking water service lines will have been replaced at a cost of more than $4 million. This is tremendous progress, but more work remains, and the city will continue to use available revenues and search for supplemental funding sources to address this need. The bottom line is that improving the water delivery system through reduction of line breaks, leaks and related service disruption, and water loss can play a role in locating and maintaining businesses and jobs. As the city ultimately spends fewer resources on break and leak repairs, it can shift more resources to expand system capacity for growth and development. Next year will see the culmination of years of planning and investment, a truly historic event when the city begins injecting recycled water back into the aquifer. Since the early 2000s, the city has embarked on a program to expand its recycled water system in order to help preserve and conserve its most precious natural resource. A key component of the recycled water program is aquifer injection and recharge. Taking clean, recycled water and injecting it back into the aquifer will greatly extend the life of the aquifer, provide substantial storage of water that can be used by future generations, positively impact the Middle Rio Grande region's water supply, and support economic development, as increasing water availability is an essential component of such efforts. The last two pieces of infrastructure that must be built before injection begins are funded. It is anticipated that by late summer, fall 2016, up to 1 million gallons per day will begin to be injected back into the aquifer, which is about 10% on average what the city draws out of the aquifer daily now. Going forward, increasing the amount the city can re-inject should be a priority for all the reasons I have already noted. There is no doubt that the city's 45-year-old wastewater treatment plant 1 needs to be addressed, and soon, in order to meet current needs and be positioned to handle future demands necessitated by growth and development, especially related to businesses. Working with the governing body to reach consensus on the best approach to meet this need is something I am committed to. Rio Rancho's reputation of being a safe community is a reflection of the city's commitment to our public safety departments and the fine men and women we have willing to put their lives on the line daily. This year's budget includes resources for a new ambulance and 10 new police vehicles. Additional ambulances and police vehicles will be purchased with funding provided by state legislators. Just recently, the city's public fire protection rating was upgraded. Residents of Rio Rancho should take great comfort in knowing their fire department is in the top 2% nationwide. Unfortunately, the past year was tragic for the community as we lost 2 police officers, Anthony Haas and Greg Nigel Benner, in the line of duty. In reaction to these losses, the community came together in ways never seen before. There is a direct correlation between how a community supports its law enforcement personnel and the type of law enforcement agency a community gets in return. Rio Rancho has established over the years a tradition of respecting and honoring its law enforcement. Because of this, it is not a coincidence why our police department is top-notch. Like so many of you, I was outraged to learn the circumstances that contributed to the death of Officer Benner by a career criminal. Simply put, it should have never happened. As initiatives are undertaken to examine and improve the judicial system, I and other representatives will be an active participant in this process on behalf of the people of Rio Rancho. City finances are another positive indicator that the community and local government are on the right track. We estimate that the general fund reserves will exceed the state of New Mexico requirements of 8.3% of expenditures and end the year at 17.2%, which is above the city's policy target of 15%. It is also a tremendous sign that the city's current projections for the fiscal years 2017 through 2020 are close to or exceeds the 15% threshold as well. Having these reserves is not only a best practice, but is critical due to the somewhat volatile nature of the city's main revenue source, gross receipts tax. As we know, unexpected emergencies can be costly, and maintaining healthy fund balances gives the city flexibility and the capacity to address these situations. I want to commend city staff for adjusting spending last year when revenues for a time were coming in lower than projections. Ultimately, with a full year's worth of revenue accounted for, the staff's projections were right on target. However, the cost cutting that was initially done was kept in place, and the savings created will be used to offset future spending requirements. Quality of life, and a high level of it, is something that all communities strive for. In Rio Rancho, through a number of facilities and programs, community members have lots to choose from, including parks and recreation activities for all ages, a bustling senior center with a variety of activities, libraries with the latest technologies and unique and popular programs, and the opportunity to experience world-class entertainment just minutes away from your front door. In this regard, I want to highlight 2 specific facilities. After many years in the making, the A Park Above will open this year. This park will be an inclusive park for people of all ages and abilities located off Westside Boulevard. I want to commend all of those who have supported this project from day one, through thick and thin. Kudos goes to the board members and all the different governmental entities that had the vision to support this project. A special thank you is owed to all the businesses and individuals that have donated money and resources to make this project a reality. The Santa Ana Star Center once again served as a tremendous community venue and a draw for those outside Rio Rancho to spend money in our community, stay in our hotels, and eat at our restaurants. From September 2014 through August 2015, nearly 300,000 people attended an event at the Santa Ana Star Center. These events ranged from high school sporting events to bull riding and productions which traveled the world, such as Cirque du Soleil. All of this activity has resulted in the venue's improved financial performance. The city's strategic plan, which establishes future city goals and the strategies to achieve those goals, is in need of updating. In the coming year, I will be working with the city manager and the governing body on a systematic, scalpel-like approach to revise and refine this document. Updating this document is critically important because it serves as a roadmap for a variety of public policy decisions. In closing, I want to stress that through collaboration, we can meet any challenges that lie ahead of us and create a better community for our current and future residents. As I indicated previously, during my term in office, the city will continue to focus on elements where it can have the biggest influence, such as investments in public infrastructure, which spur necessary growth and development. Furthermore, strengthening partnerships with existing entities and creating new alliances that benefit the community will be a priority. This concludes my 2015 State of the City report. Thank you, and God bless.